Start recording, Tom. Couldn't be easier. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this third or fourth podcast. I don't know.
Third.
We haven't third. We've not been very consistent with them. I'm Alan, and I run a record shop called Collect and Survive in North Liverpool and Waterloo. That's on South Road. And
I'm Tom, and I'm trying to go for a Lemmy mic, podcast stand mic.
it's good luck. It's good luck. You're pulling it off. We should pause now and do what they do on proper podcasts, where they talk a little bit, give you a little teaser, and then go, and then look at the camera and go, "Welcome to the Collect and Survive podcast," and then it goes,
Or we're chatting and then go, "Oh, are we recording?"
Oh,
as we're just knocking out brilliant content. Oh, are we? Oh,
content.
Content.
I'm going off to work down mine. What are you doing? I'm doing content. I don't know why I had to just pick a stereotypical Yorkshire. I think that Yorkshire stereotype, Yorkshire person probably will make some more appearances a bit later.
It's because of the pain we're still carrying from Thatcher.
When I was 7, yeah. Anyway, bit of politics straight off. What else is happening in your life, Tom? That's interesting to know. Let's get.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
I've watched some good films.
Go on, what have you watched?
Well, actually, it was a series. Well, I've watched films, but the series that I watched was brilliant, called Severance.
Oh, I saw the bit of that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you saw it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Great.
Is that the one?
Where
Yeah.
you get you either on like you life mode where you don't know about work, and
Yeah.
then you get switched to work mode.
So
Anyway,
if you've got soul crushing jobs, which let's be honest, anybody who has got a job probably thinks that they're soul crushing at some point. Even though I've got like 2 jobs, and if you class this as a job,
Yeah, it's a job.
but this is not soul crushing.
Yeah.
This job running a record shop, it doesn't pay a proper wage. So you can all fantasize it if you want to do that, but it's really a hobby. I think unless you
So we have to work for the man. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
And Severance.
Right, Severance is great TV show. I watched Alien,
Oh, the good one.
the good one. I watched Alien, and then I watched Aliens.
Which is I think is garbage.
I can't disagree with you more there, but I would like to say, dear viewer, you have to contextualize it.
I know everyone tells me it's a different it's a different film. It's a whole
Completely.
like blah, 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 but it's a different film that I don't like.
Okay, I get that. And then I started. I do love it because it's just so ridiculously. It just absolutely fits in that 80s pantheon. Woo! I've used the words contextualize and pantheon.
You are wearing a
And I'm wearing a B.F. Skinner top. So if anybody wants to know my views on psychology,
Oh, I thought that it's not.
cognitive psychology is absolute rubbish. It's just all behaviorism.
I thought they were all filmmakers. Those shirts you had, the metal.
Oh
the
no,
metal.
these are scientists. These ones. So this is B.F. Skinner, who's a famous behavioural scientist. He's
That's
a
weird.
dude that
I've
came
never-
up. So Skinner's the dude that came up with we all work off punishment and reinforcement schedules.
Oh yeah. I know,
Like
right,
so.
yeah.
But then everything that's all a bit basic, and then a lot of other psychologists came along and said, "Well, you got to have there's more cognitive reasoning behind it than that."
It's
This
funny
isn't
that-
a psychology podcast, and if it was, psychologists would be going, "What the f is he talking about?"
It's funny for all the CBT stuff I've read up on and learned and everything. I must have come
Cognitive
across his
behavioural.
name and
Yeah.
forgot it.
Well, he's like the original dude, and then there's people then applying it properly.
The original dude, is that like his
B.F.
B.F. Skinner
B.F.
original
Skinner,
dude?
do you know what his real name is?
OD.
I remember when I was in university. This is not what this podcast is about, but his real name is Barhoos. So,
Is it?
Barhoos? Yeah, Barrhaus.
Bela Lugosi's dead.
Barhoos. And in fact, I've given Bob one of my Skinner books. I'm gonna go and get it off him. We're on top
Sounds
of a
like you're gonna
bookshop.
shake him down.
We're on top of a bookshop. This is not what this podcast is about.
It
Anyway,
is so far.
but yeah, Barhoos Skinner. Anyway, in university, because we were hilarious postgrads, we used to call him Barry. Not to his face, because he didn't come. He was dead, and is dead. Anyway,
It's the best way. It's the best time to skit someone, really, isn't it?
we're already. This is the intro. Welcome to the Collect and Survive.
At least Bauhaus can't sue us.
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus, mate.
Bauhaus Skinner. I'm gonna get a T-shirt made with that, and I'll be the only person in the world with that T-shirt.
Yes, you will.
Right, we're gonna talk about this CD. We do these podcasts. We talk about music, but we find that the music that we like is all weird stuff, and then it's always probably on some compilation CD done by somebody ultra cool, like well, these guys I think is the Beavis Frond, and then like Johnny Trunk, and we're talking about doing a Johnny Trunk podcast.
Yeah, I think all the other ones we did, like sort of talking around genres, didn't we? Or
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
a scene. So we
So let's
thought,
recap on what we've done. We did.
well, we only done two. We did the
yeah.
music, incidental music thing,
Which is still a brilliant rabbit hole to get down in it.
yeah, and
Kmart
the Kmart
tapes.
tapes and all that.
Yeah.
And then the last one we did was the social club bands.
Oh,
men's working social work. Men's working club
70s working
bands.
men's club bands.
Yeah.
And the reason we did that was I'd say there's only one clunky track on that. And I know people who put those comps together will.
Well, there's two comps in there, so
they'll sort the best out, won't they?
Yeah.
But they're still all absolutely corkers, and I've got
absolute
records now. I mean, we found another CD, and so we might do
this
one
one's
on
a bit more fun.
We might do one on Johnny Trunk in the future, but it's
We
not
will,
on
I
him
think.
because
Well,
we don't know him. It's just on the
him.
music that he's put together, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Trunk Records. If you don't know, look them up.
Go out and look up
Ridiculous.
the Johnny, the big.
So
Johnny.
anyway, today we're doing a
So we're
questionably titled.
Yes, questionably titled.
When was it put out?
How am I? What am I can't.
It's like that.
Postgraduate qualified.
Have you ever seen that?
Look at that.
The picture of the skinhead from the 80s who did his forehead tattoo and it was backwards.
Was that the same dude who got his mum to do his washing of his his white shirt? Was that the same skinhead?
No.
Do you remember the advert?
Brilliant, yeah, that's a brilliant. Yeah.
Anyway, look, it's got a rubbish name. It's called Music for Mentalists.
And Mentalists, I think anyone who's watched early, I think 2000s television, is people who work for American police forces who have mental powers.
Maybe that's what it means. Maybe they're not using the lazy kind of stereotype of mental. Hopefully, I suspect they're not because it's groovy music.
It is groovy
so,
music.
This is well worth hunting out the CD. I don't think it's a bit. Sorry, I'll just put it next to my face. It's worth hunting out. There are some corkers. There's some rubbish on here, but and there's some adverts. Did you hear the last?
Yeah.
The
I
advert
was about to say that goes from full songs to just little adverts or little sound beds or whatever.
So there's tracks on here. Let me just read a bit off here, and then you'll see what it's about. Why? Question mark. If you're gonna put a record together, it's best to go just why. Yeah. For what warped reason did misguided record executives think that any of the music contained within this compilation was worth releasing on a commercial basis? That should be a short sentence. Whose twisted vision saw these tracks racing up the charts? Question mark. In fact, who thought that anybody apart from those with an equally cracked view of the world would rush to their local disc boutique, that's a record shop, to snap up even one of these bizarre items? But then again, perhaps it all doesn't really matter at all, and we should just be grateful that these skewed slices of strangeness were pressed up and are still to be found lurking in the dark corners of dust-shrouded record racks, charity shops, boot fairs, and flea markets. Now, I definitely have not got any of these in. In fact, if you want to hunt some of these records down, you're going to be paying. I've bought one of these for the jukebox.
I was going to look them up, but I didn't get
25 quid. I looked up the Michael Elphick one. That's about 17 quid.
Jesus, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to walk through a couple of artists that are on there? I'd just give the kind viewers what I have a sup of tea, and then we'll maybe walk through a top 3, top 5.
I mean, we'll start at the beginning, and there's some people if you're of an age, about Jim Bowen, Max Bygraves,
but
David Carradine.
It's a weird Max Bygraves. He's obviously trying to be funky.
I think Max Bygraves was pretty funky.
Yeah, but the reason they put the Max track on this is there's loads of tunes, but it's called, a weird one.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah. Which actually didn't.
The David Carradine's not the chicken one.
The David Carradine, the chicken song. And there's
David Carradine's had he's dead now, isn't he? But he had quite an interesting life.
Jerk joke on it. There's probably on other people on here that people know that I'm just not familiar with. But it goes from stars who've released wacky singles. Yeah. Well, stars is a strong word, but people in the public light who've released wacky singles and other oddities, I'll say. And I think that leads very well into the first there's an introduction on it by someone called Laura Huxley.
Intro.
I can't remember it now.
That intro. We're not going to play any of it on here because we don't want to get strikes from YouTube. So we encourage you to go out. You can just get this on YouTube itself. Look it up.
It's
play
on YouTube, yeah.
But the intro music I used on a mixtape.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I worked out how to use GarageBand, I created all these like mixes, and that was like my opening gambit for all of them because it just led into anything, Gil Skyrin or whatever.
I used to use the middle bits from the High Fidelity soundtrack. They have bits from the filming.
Cool. Yeah. But it's worth listening just to the opening chat, isn't it? Because it's obviously from a it's obviously from a self-help kind of album. And it's this. It sounds that you listen to and you think that's made up. That's not her accent, but it's this. I think she's Dutch or she's I don't know, Scandinavian or something.
Funny accent.
But she's putting on, because they can't speak proper English, just like us proper English. Anyway, I just want to express that we are absolutely just taking the piss out of racists. Obviously, is what we're doing there, and xenophobes. So fuck them guys. Okay. But back to this, her accent is incredible, and the way she talks, it's quite relaxing. You've got to listen to it, and then you'll want to hunt out that record for sure.
But I think, and this might be my for the song itself, and the thing behind it might be my favourite one. It's by Linda Jardim, and it's called "Energy in Northampton."
What do you want to do? Do you want to just touch on a couple of the other ones, or do you want to get into top 3, top 5? Well, how do you want to do it?
You go through, and then I know like
there's some in like there's like Joe Loss is on here.
Who's he?
Joe Loss Orchestra. He did lots of the famous like backing tracks for. I don't know if you did TV shows.
Oh right, okay.
But you're very much. Famous for doing that sort of thing. So there's lots of ums and ahs here. There's a famous Jim Bowen, and some of it you'll want to skip because the Jim Bowen rap is like it's like the Anfield rap. You go, oh, that's okay, but then it's really not that funny.
It's not funny, but
and
I've
then
got
there's
got notes on that one.
All right, well we'll get into that. I definitely picked 3. The Cadbury Singers is like Cadbury's as like an advert, and if you listen to any of this, there is another Johnny Trunk CD. There's a couple of Johnny Trunk CDs that I've got, which. He puts things like bits from adverts in. I've got a whole. Actually, I don't know if it's on Trunk or another label, but it's just TV adverts from the 60s, and it's just all like, "Buy your washing powder, buy it today," and stuff like that. But it's cool, and if you're making a mixtape, you can bung them in the middle.
But I thought the worst song on it is that Beatles cover. Is it I Don't Want to?
Yeah. Oh, Joe Lost. Go on.
What song is it? Is it?
What is it? I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Yeah, and it's just awful. I forgot what it was now, but it's just some awful cabaret version.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
It's really hard going.
There's a Let It Be on here as well. But there's like, for example, the Barclay Girls, the Barclay supergroup, and a song is called the Barclay Girls. That's obviously just Barclays, the bank, but it's quite cool the way it's put together. The song is quite cool. And do you know what? I was down a bit of a rabbit hole yesterday on YouTube, which is maybe a subject for another podcast, of like weird 80s and 90s training videos.
Oh yeah, like in-store
like
training.
McDonald's training videos, and
yeah.
Training videos for who's that drug company that's getting sued in America?
Pfizer?
No, not them. No, the one Dope Sick.
Oh yeah.
You know them.
The family.
Yeah. So I've got a top 3. Should I run through my top 3 honorable mentions, and then you do? Do you want to do something similar? So honorable mentions, I think would be that Barclay supergroup is great. There's an advert at the end called Il Pirata Arrivederci, and it's just obviously an advert for an Italian, but it's so brilliant. It's like on YouTube. Have you seen the advert for the do you like hot fudge sundae? Have you seen that?
No.
It's like from the 90s, and it's just some dude in this American version of a Bernie Inn type thing, if Bernie Inns exist anymore. And he's just at the I was gonna say desk. He's at the server, and he's like serving pieces of like chicken, but he's asking these customers. It's obviously scripted, but he's going, did you see the game?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And obviously the customers they're not scripted to say anything. They're just like stood there. It's a bit like Alan Partridge, but it's just so good. And then there's one, he's sweating throughout. And he's obviously just like, he was obviously a young kid. He's obviously off to university, whatever he's doing as a part-time job. And he's like, do you like hot fudge sundae?
Yes.
And it's obviously, it's like up to the microphone. Yes.
A dub over. Yes.
Anyway, so, you know what? what a great time to be alive, just for being a sort of middle-aged, useless bloke. I tell you what, I just live on YouTube, don't you? Just watch it. I just watch crap like that.
Recently,
like iceberg videos about.
Oh yeah, iceberg video. Yeah. And I've got so many playlists now for different things. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it?
I'm big into police interrogation, body language videos.
Oh God, non-verbal cues, NPCs.
Yeah. There's no way the police are getting me for anything now. I know all the tricks.
Well, you just don't say anything because, you know, and all they do is tell you. No, anyway, let's move on. Seem to know a lot about that. Pace 1984. Okay, the other ones on here are the Monkeys theme by Al Hurt. It's quite good. The David Carradine Chicken song, I thought that was great. Right, here's my favourites on here. I'm going to go straight in with Linda Jardim Energy in Northampton, which is, I think, is well famous. If you're watching this, you know anything about cult music.
I never heard this song before until when we did this.
Unlike Tom.
I remembered that you had mentioned it to me in the past.
I bought it. It's in the jukebox over there.
But go on, talk about what it's about.
We'll get into that. I'm just going to give you my top 3. Then.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to Linda Jardim Energy in Northampton. And anyway, we'll get into that. It's classic. It's brilliant. I'd love to do that in a karaoke.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine that? I'll tell you my karaoke story.
Oh, do you mean all those times we go to karaoke?
Yeah, all the time. We finish this and just do karaoke. Just the two of us staring each other dead in the eyes, singing. You know, hip to be square. You know what I mean? That's what we do, isn't it? That's what you do in a record shop.
Yeah.
That's what I'd
I
expect.
like to do on corners of South Road.
Hip to be square. Anyway, don't sing it. Oh, right, okay, let's get back to this. I'll tell you a karaoke story later. But it involves... Anyway, I won't go... Linda Jardim, Energy in Northampton, right? Reginald Bosanquet, Dance With Me, which you must have heard of. I don't know how you pronounce his surname. Bosanquet. He was a famous 70s journalist. Well, I think if you loosely call TV presenters who tell the news journalists.
Yeah, well, I thought it sounded like a very British, like sort of, Prince Farai, like the dub MCs. It was almost like a very British
meant
dub
to be narrating
MC.
It, but it's almost. We'll get into that. So that one, and then what's my other favourite one on here? Oh, it has to be which is like terrifying. Michael Elphick, Gotcha. My God, it's absolutely. It's terrifying.
It's
should be on a horror soundtrack.
It should have been on that investigation that like Savile and everyone else was on.
YouTube. They should have made Gotcha the soundtrack to Crime Watch. What is your top 3? Or have you got a top 3?
Energy Northampton is the out and out.
We better get into it. Let's start talking about them because we're already about 25 minutes, 18 minutes in.
I've just got notes on a few of them, but
which one do you want to talk about? Energy Northampton.
You go with Energy.
So Energy Northampton. It's a song created by something like the Council for Northampton Development in like 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
Is that
I think that at the latest, I think.
Well, it's released in 1980.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, it must be 1980. Yeah, I guess everything still looks quite 70s-ish, doesn't it?
What's the concept of the song? So you can imagine that these councils have got round together and they're all like...
What have we got to offer?
They're all pretty square.
Yeah.
Well, the main dude's called Basil Bean. I remember I watched a video on it and the main dude talking about releasing records called Basil Bean.
Well, there's one guy they probably got who they're like, get John in. He's a bit wacky. He's a bit out there.
He's hipster. He has long hair.
There's aliens that are going through space, but they're about to run out of fuel. I think they're about to like crash out. They're in need, aren't they? They're in need, I think. And I
think this is a sub-level. I think there's an iceberg on Energy in Northampton. That's a level below. I think they're just looking for intelligent life forms, and they thought Northampton.
No, I think because it's called energy. I think they need the energy. Because at one point it said we've got the energy.
That sounds a bit V. That sounds a bit like they're going to come and just eat people's souls
to
get their energy. But only if you're from Northampton.
People in Northampton have souls. It's not as if and I don't think it's even like they're feeding off their thriving
juju.
No, like electric, or factories. I think it is. They've just got the energy.
Factory.
The people in Northampton are just like
are people watching this.
Yeah. People, no, honestly, I think it's the aliens are feeding off just the energy coming from Northampton. The bustling vibe.
So, is it not? Obviously, there's obviously a sales pitch to this. So obviously, the aliens. If it's good enough for the aliens, it's good enough for you.
Go to Northampton, you'll get all your soul sucked out by.
You'll get either either your soul sucked out and all your hamsters eaten, like in V. Go back to V again, which is brilliant.
It's just terrifying me.
Terrified. That when
with
she
the eye.
Oh yeah, when she had the hamster in her mouth.
Yeah.
Like that's I was like, holy smoke. That's about 11. Anyway, so so it was released in 1980, and I bought it and I've got it in the shop and play it on the jukebox because I think it's a great song.
It's good, yeah.
It's a kind of... It's because it's 1980. They were trying to both get on the disco thing.
Yeah.
But obviously disco happened like really 1976. Dance into disco.
Yeah.
76, 77.
Yeah.
You know, disco punk.
It's obviously going to be late.
So it's completely missed that boat.
Late to the game.
Yeah. It's all post-disco. You know, it's all really hardly produced 80s getting to be part of it.
But if you look up on YouTube, there is, as Alan said, there's a small news bit, isn't there, from Northampton, like telly or whatever, about the song and what did it and that is brilliant to watch.
That is Basil. That's Basil.
That's the guy with the glasses.
And Basil was very happy that Northampton had increased its manufacturing capacity and brought lots of business.
Yep.
But he did say, because I reflected on this, I watched it before coming this morning, he did say that in the last 10 years, he didn't say it's a direct result of this record.
Which he should have, really, shouldn't he?
You know, maybe, and I don't know anything about Linda Jardine.
No, I wonder if she's
Linda,
just like a councilman's wife.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. You know, or just worked somewhere, you know, just one of the...
Hey, maybe she ran the council and she just decided to do the hit single.
I don't think there was any women running councils in 1980.
I'm trying to be.
Unfortunately.
Maybe that's wishful thinking, isn't it? All right. So Linda Jardine is the first track. I would definitely hit that one. So really, you can play the CD from the beginning with the opening.
Yeah.
The opening spiel. Then it goes like, this record is for relaxing. Turn off the light. It's really good. And then it goes straight into that.
Yeah, to energy.
And then what's your?
I don't know, because I quite like the Jim Bowen rap, but you know the Dance With Me?
It's funny, the Jim Bowen rap, but it's like, I mean, Jim Bowen's a comedian, so you kind of expect him to be able to... Yeah, he's a proper stand-up comedian. You've never seen the 1970s, the comedians?
Oh, might have, but I don't remember.
Well, obviously, all that's been cancelled, and in the majority of the cases, rightly so. But there is some still hilarious stuff on there that's not misogynistic or racist, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But there's just one comedian, he just keeps going, I won't keep you long. And that's the funniest thing he does. I mean, me mate watched it in the university, and then we spent, every time I see him, we try and find it on YouTube. We can't find the dude, so we think we just made it up.
Maybe the rubbish comedians got it scrubbed.
Yeah.
But you know that Dance With Me song?
Anyway, Jim Bowen was a comedian.
Whoever it was, that Dance With Me, there's a line in it where he
Reginald Bosenquat. Come on,
dance, ladies. I like it. Oh, I like the movement. It's nice.
Yeah. He's had a line. Reginald Bosenquat is of Huguenot descent. I read it on Wikipedia this morning. So his family, his dad is a famous cricket player. He's born in the 1930s, and I think his mum and dad died when he was about 7. So I'd stop taking him here.
What a brilliant anecdote.
And his dad invented the googly.
The googly eyes?
Not the googly eyes. Oh. Well, it just says on Wikipedia the googly. And being he's a cricketer, I'm wondering, obviously, it must be
yeah. All right.
The Shane one, Mike Gattin, googly, that one. Which is the whole album made by the dude out of Divine Comedy.
All right.
Called the Duckworth-Lewis Method. If you've never read that album, there's a whole track dedicated to that. You don't know about cricket, do you?
No, I don't know.
Listen to the Duckworth-Lewis Method by the dude out of Divine Comedy.
I don't know what I dislike more, Divine Comedy or...
You don't like Divine Comedy?
I went to see them a few years ago at Law, and they were pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Anyway, back to this. So we're talking about Reginald. That's another absolute stone cold, nailed on classic track to listen to, because he's a retired journalist. I have no idea. When you look at Wikipedia, it just says he released his single and he talked over it in a style of narration. But it's like, we have no idea why. He did it, who inspired him to do it, why he did it. I think he'd left, because he anchored ITN with Anna Ford for like 20 years or something.
The Dance With Me guy?
The Dance With Me guy? He
Wow.
was a serious 70s newsreader. Probably. But when I looked up the Wikipedia entry today, it's like he sometimes raised an eyebrow and stumbled over unusual foreign names, and I thought, crikey, how 1970s is this podcast gonna get? So he left, obviously, and I think he struggled with alcohol. Let's put it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Struggled to get the top off quick enough.
Oh, yeah, didn't struggle. Just
didn't struggle.
Just fine with it.
Yeah, not to laugh at that, obviously, but he struggled and he drank a lot, and I think that ultimately killed him. But anyway, But before that, he wrote this. He narrated on this song, so it's worth listening to because you think, oh, he's going to sing it, and it's just weird narration, and it's not in time. It's almost like
it was like a dub MC. It was almost a bit like off.
It's kind of catching up, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is great, and it's a doom 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 doom. It's a great tune. It's got some weird effects on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's why I remember the tune being quite good, and then him just just mumbling, talking over it.
I think it's a sort of song you could put on a indie student disco in the 80s, and people would have been, well, that's indie students, right?
Well, I think that Jim. I've got just two
Reginald
notes
Boson
on two other songs. Steve Bowley, Jingle, Creepy Nightmare. Then I've got Lovely Day for
yeah.
Love. It just says, I've just put Kill Me.
That there's a few jingles on there as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
That is just, I know why they put that on, because it's just really creepy.
Which one?
That Steve Bowley jingle.
Oh yeah.
It is really
creepy.
it's really creepy. There's a lot of what a horrible creepy time to be alive. If obviously excellent for predatory men. I mean, even
Well, it's great for them, isn't it?
Because they're getting away with all sorts, and reflected even in the culture and the media that we're talking about.
It wasn't even getting away with, because they didn't see anything. They weren't doing anything.
Oh yeah, culturally it was like acceptable. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But on the Jim Bowen rap is one of the things I've got most notes on, oddly enough, because
go on, get to Jim Bowen, and then and then where are we? We're only going to do this for half an hour. You'll be glad to know. We've only got 4 minutes left, so we'll round it up with
gotcha.
Michael Elford.
I think I will go on record as saying Jim Bowen is the Rakim of 80s TV celebrity rappers.
Does that mean that Tony Scott was his name? The guy who used to do Win One.
Oh yeah, he's
Eric B. Eric B. Yeah.
Eric, yeah. So because when
I never thought we'd get to that comparison, but I'm glad.
It's obvious now.
I think we should end it now. The podcast.
No, because
that's our conclusion.
That the song on the music on the Jim Bowen rap is actually sort of like Manchester-esque.
Yeah.
Like the Happy Mondays remixes, blah blah blah. It's touching on that, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually not that bad. And his rap, any 80s television celebrity at the time would always do. My name is Tom, and I've come to say da 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 da. But that rap.
Is that new order? World in motion.
Yeah. With the cap on sideways. Dun, 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 and that one. But he doesn't. He like Rakim, like the free jazz player.
Yeah, he does.
Floats over it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he does.
That's a good. I like that, mate. Yeah.
And it also explains Bullseye, in case you weren't.
And he rhymes the word speedboat with something, doesn't he? Presumably.
Does he?
Yeah, he gets all that in. I'm not sure he wrote it.
Oh, but also there is a part where he says things like, "Give me some skin," and stuff like that, which is a bit, But I guess for the time,
a lot of this. I'm reflecting on what we said in this podcast. A lot of it is of the time, innit? Or we are reflecting on how shit it was. Basically.
I don't know why I've written "Take me to the."
Why
supermarket.
do people not challenge anything in the 70s? Why?
There
was only really Rock Against Racism, Anti-Nazi League. I mean, and that seems to have. It's still there, but it's not as much as
anti-fascist action now. So the new, because the
there's no Rock Against Racism and
there's just been one.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think it's not very big. It's like
but it's not got the Clash on it. And,
no.
And the Jam.
No.
Anyway, maybe we should
really
organise one.
All right. So getting down to
Michael
Elphick. Well, what did David just mention? The David Carradine chicken song.
Oh yeah.
It's about a man who owns chickens.
Yeah.
He takes acid unless the chicken's free to run around the town.
I call that Tuesday afternoon. What do you call
that,
that, Tom?
But I've written that down. Is that what it happens in it?
I don't know. You know more about that tune than me. I mean,
also, Peter Anthony, the song about Sefton.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't think that's Sefton the area.
No, it's not. It's about a man called Sefton.
Yeah, I think it's something about joining the army or something, isn't it?
He wakes up to a dead friend.
Oh,
it's not about Crosby.
No.
Stupid army. But
it's about the stupid army. Is that your note?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a pro-army join the army song. Something like that. David Carradine's worth listening to. That is whacked out. We've got
Yeah.
We're gonna have to open the shop in a minute, so we're gonna have to wind this up.
Finally, Michael Elphick.
Elphick. So if you don't know who Michael Elphick is he's an actor born in the 40s, I think, and he died in 2000 and I'm gonna say 12.
Yeah, famous and loved in England.
He was in loads of films. He was the dad in famously, I think 3 or 4 famous roles. He was the dad in Quadrophenia.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, Phil Daniels' dad. He was Jake the Poacher in With Nell and I.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, her here, her, and don't point a dead fish at me. I mean, you could just sit here and do With Nell and I quotes. Maybe the 2 most quotable films, just With Nell and I, Spinal Tap.
Oh, Spinal Tap.
Gotta be right.
Surely, Life of Brian's got to be up there.
Yeah. God, that's such a good film.
Which Michael Elphick was not in.
Michael Elphick's not in, but he's in Boone as well.
But he may have been.
Boone was about a retired fireman.
Oh yeah, Boone.
Who opened up a motorcycle dispatch firm and became a private investigator. Which,
Hi-ho Silver. That was that, right?
It was Hi-ho Silver, yeah.
Lone Ranger.
And it had a young, what's his, Neil?
No, Neil. Yeah, Morrissey.
Neil Morrissey.
But Michael Elphick
anyway,
also it may remain.
He wasn't famous for writing and singing tunes.
But he may allegedly have been a bit of a on the quite
careful
sketchy guy.
Really?
Well,
be careful.
Well, this song, I'm not making any allegations. This song talks about capturing women.
Oh, so this is
soon be tamed.
All right, this doesn't necessarily mean it's him, though, is it?
No, but the song is about that.
This is a reflection of the culture of the time, and again, if you go on his Wikipedia entry, it doesn't mention this song at all.
It's just all the lyrics.
But the song is called "Gotcha," right?
Yeah, I've got some quotes.
And it's about somebody basically capturing a woman and keeping it in his. Like, if you got the lyrics, it's like keep you in my net.
Yeah, it's about capturing women who quote will be tamed when we feed them full of love, quote, and watching them grow. So mentions a trophy room. And
Christ, it's all a bit Buffalo Bill, isn't it?
Another quote is, "Don't struggle, pet. I've got you caught in my butterfly net."
Right. It's worth a listen. It's deeply sinister. But then obviously this doesn't reflect on Michael Elphick's personality because he's an actor, so he's clearly acting. But I don't think it troubled the charts. Right.
Depends what chart.
Not yeah. It depends if you mean the Interpol crimes against.
But because before I listened to it, Alan said, "Oh, wait till you hear the Michael Elphick. It's pretty creepy." And I thought, "Oh, it'll be whatever." But
it's sinister on another level. I think it's because you don't expect it, and then it's not meant to be sinister. It's not meant to be.
No.
I think it's just meant to reflect that this person has got a true love for this woman.
Yeah.
But
some characters.
Yeah, it's meant to be nice. It's meant to be a compliment, I think.
Yeah, probably. And then I think after that is that awful Beatles cover, isn't it? Or one or two after that, which is very jarring.
God, But anyway, look, we'll end it now. So if you want to take away a top 3, go and listen. You can find this on YouTube. We thoroughly recommend it.
We'll put a link in the thing, shall we?
We'll put a link in the description.
And all that.
And we thoroughly recommend just going out and listening to weird stuff, weird music. There's all sorts. Just look up Kmart tape music. Just look that up. Yeah. Look up anything on Trunk.
Yeah, the Trunk compilation.
I mean, it's not all weird, the Trunk stuff, but there's some unusual, interesting records.
It's not all walking.
There's a lot of Italian library stuff. There's just a lot of library music.
Yeah, what's that?
KPM.
Yeah, KPM records.
Yeah, there's loads of interesting. And come into shop and hit us up if you got anything interesting that you think you should listen to this. It's really weird because it's not trying to be. We're not trying to be, we're not trying to be them blokes who just like, oh, I found this. And it's just this cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
So it's worthwhile hunting it out.
And if you know of any cool, just good stuff, let us know. Let us know somehow.
Drop it in the comments, even though we don't read the comments, and only about 100 people. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've read the comment.
The comment.
Or look up Collect Survive on Instagram.
Yeah, look us up, and then we'll do another couple of these. We'll do one definitely on Trunk. I think we should. Sorry, I'm away from the microphone. I've gone on about that spoken word jazz stuff.
Oh yeah.
What's his face? Who does the spoken word?
Gil Scott Heron.
No. He's on the wall over there. It's 1960s spoken word jazz, and he did an album on Colours, and it's very hip. It's very hipster, and it's really weird. But I think we should do one on that. And you know what? We should probably just do one on like all our favourite kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
I always go on about Bob Trimble. I'm looking at his album on the wall. It's 1970s drone vocal weird stuff. If you want to find this dude's album, Bob Trimble with a double B. Trimble. Iron Age of Innocence, the album's called. And it's like about $5,000 if you can find one, because he only self-pressed about 200 of them. One came up for sale recently, and it was like $5,000. And I thought, crikey, if I had $5,000, I would buy it. It's brilliant. Anyway, so unusual, interesting stuff. Not unusual, it's crap. Frankly, we don't need that in our lives, do we?
Well.
Tom might.
Or if you make yourself, send us that.
Oh, yeah. If you
we'll
make,
talk
if you
about
make weird stuff.
Please
don't send us sinister stuff like gotcha that has our personal details in. We won't be. We won't be
gotcha covers.
We won't be very pleased with that. Can you imagine putting an album of just people doing gotcha? That'd be brilliant. Radiohead's version. Anyway, we're gonna say goodbye.
Also, look up Counterculture Records on Instagram at Counterculture Records. Bye.
Is that related to this? I was just promoting his mate's record label. Right, we'll see you soon, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll do another one eventually. Bye.